Good afternoon. This is Stuart Nachbar from Educated Quest. With me this afternoon is Carmela Sadaya, a rising junior at Rutgers University in New Brunswick. Carmela and I represent two generations of Rutgers. I graduated nearly 40 years ago. Back then, Rutgers did not have an undergraduate business school. You had different ways to get a business degree, but they were nothing like you could get today. Carmela is a junior at Rutgers, as I said before. She is doing a double major, very brave lady, in marketing and business analytics. And I've asked Carmela to join me today. We met through the Rutgers Business School Mentoring Program, and I've gotten to know Carmela for the last few months. And she's agreed to tell us things about Rutgers. So when you were looking for, what were you looking for when you were looking at colleges when you were in high school?
Well, I knew right away that I wanted to be a business major. So the first thing I looked up was go on Google, said top business schools in New Jersey or in the tri-state area. And Rutgers was always like the one of the top business schools. And I was like, wow, this is quite, they have a reputation for having a good business school. So let me look into it. And I also knew that I wanted like a big state university as well. I was also looking at Penn State and I was looking at NYU and just big schools. So I wanted something with a lot of opportunities to get involved, um, primarily, but also something that was good for the field that I was going to. And I knew Rutgers had a really good business school. So those are the main things, the opportunities to get involved and also something that had a good program for what I was looking for.
Are you studying in your intended major, or did you change your mind at some point?
It I am actually studying in my intended major. I knew I wanted to go into marketing right away, but also I added to that. So I'm a double major in business analytics. I just plan to do marketing and maybe management to go along with it. But after taking my classes, all my intro classes for business students, I realized I really like the technical and analytical part of business. So that's why I added business analytics as well.
Can you walk us through what you took in the first 2 years in the business school?
My first 2 years, it was primarily doing, I'm trying to do the, I think SAS core. Everyone has to take like um, some humanities and art classes and also the pre-business courses, which were like macroeconomics, micro, calculus, and XBOS, so a writing, a math, and economics. And towards my second year, my sophomore year, it was more the intro classes um, to be a pre-business student before you declare your majors. I had to take intro to supply chain, which is a major, intro to financial management, which is about finance, and I had to take business forum, which taught you just the basic etiquettes of business. So everything was introductory courses plus the core requirements of Rutgers.
Was there a pleasant surprise in the business class? You walked in thinking, I may not like this, or it's required and I have to take it, but you ended up liking it?
Yeah, I actually I knew right away going to the business school there was all these majors and I was like, there's no way I'll like finance. Like that's so boring. But I went into my financial management class, but I also learned about finance from a professional in my business forum class because there was a lot of seminars that happened in that class, and he talked about finance so passionately. And I was like, wow, like maybe it's not boring. Maybe it's actually something interesting. And all business majors have to take like the finance classes and the accounting classes. I was like, I'm gonna do so bad in these classes because I have no interest in what they're doing. But it was surprising that all of these things in business are actually really connected. And I kind of understood why business students had to take them just so we understand the whole picture of business and not just our major, which is for me was marketing. So I didn't even think I needed finance, but going to those classes, I appreciate them a lot more.
Now, finance and business analytics courses tend to be a little more quantitative.
Mhm.
than the typical, let's say, marketing or accounting. Were you a math person coming into college?
Yeah. Actually, coming into college, I thought business was more like math because I loved math in high school, and I got some AP credit for like statistics and like calculus. But going into business, I realized there's more writing involved because we had to take 3 writing classes, and I thought we would have to take like 5 math classes, but my only math requirement was calculus 1. And I was surprised to know that about business. It was more about communication and writing.
Did you opt to take calculus again, or did you take the AP credits in it?
Um, I had to take calculus again. I don't think my AP credits went through. Something went weird with that. Yeah, like I knew most of my AP credits went through, even um with what's it called, going through the business school, but some of them didn't because I took not just AP but SUPA. It's like Syracuse University Project Advanced,
Oh,
and some
really?
of those didn't really go through. So it was kind of weird.
So, have you been involved with extracurriculars that are specifically within the business school, things related to marketing, things related to analytics, things related to
Um,
anything else?
yes, I actually got involved my freshman year with Rutgers University Women in Business because I wanted to be surrounded with other women too that were in the business school, and it was really helpful because the leadership in their club has a lot of experience with internships, and they help you with how to talk to employers and opportunities to go to like seminars and networking events. So I got really involved with them my freshman year, and I didn't have time to do it for my sophomore year, but it was really fun and helpful as a freshman to see other people that know what they're doing in the business school.
Well, that must mean because you're so busy with school, what else were you involved in?
I was really involved with a cultural club called RAPS. It's Rutgers Association of Philippine Students. And I interviewed for their underclassmen rep position because in high school I was really big on like leadership. So I thought this was an opportunity for me to have a leadership position and really get involved in a club and not just show up to the meeting. So I did a lot with that and shadowed their e-board and understand how to run a club and all the logistics that come with it and how to be a leader, in college. And so yeah, that's what I did my freshman
Rutgers does a really good job with leadership development. I've
year.
noticed there are courses that students can take,
Mhm.
whether they lead clubs or whether they're just wanting to learn skills. Have you had a chance to take advantage of any of those?
Um, I would say yes, because they have a lot of like leadership positions like RA or OL, and just talking to your um, TAs, yeah, teacher assistants. I almost forgot what they were called. They really do help you, even if you don't get the position in the end. Like the process and interviewing and the things that you have to do, um, like to kind of train with them is really helpful in developing leaders. Yeah.
So are there other activities that you're involved in?
I well, currently right now I'm the president of my campus ministry, MFC Campus Space, and we just found it this year. I'm the founder of it, so that's why I'm also the president. And we have a really great faith community at Rutgers. There's a lot of different faith backgrounds, and so I really appreciate the diversity in Rutgers and the inclusiveness and the authenticity that comes with communities like that.
Did
So.
you have to recruit people or did people come naturally to that?
I had to really work hard to get the word out there and just talk to my network, like that the people that are closest to me to also spread out the word. So it started slow in the beginning, but through marketing on like social media platforms, but also word of mouth, it grew a lot.
Have students used social media a great deal? Have you seen them use social media a great deal around an activity, around a cause
Oh
on
yeah,
campus?
definitely. The big thing that at least at Rutgers, I know they use Facebook a lot and they make a lot of Facebook events for the things that clubs are doing so people can RSVP and they know exactly how, like, not exactly, but an estimate of how many people are going and it could reach a lot of people through Facebook. So I would say that's like the main outlet that Rutgers students are using.
You mentioned teaching assistants a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
For the courses you've taken so far, is the primary teacher a teaching assistant, or is the professor fairly accessible?
I would say the professor is very accessible. The TAs too, they're very helpful when you're asking a question and just needing like peer assistance, not necessarily go straight to the professor, but the professors are fairly very accessible. I could just email them and they answer my question right away, or I could choose to email a TA and they answer my question right away too. So they're all accessible.
Do people who are in classes with you, do they also gravitate to help each other?
Yes, they definitely do. I know for most of my classes, um, a lot of students come together and make a group chat, and we're like, guys, we need to work together. So in case we need help or have questions, we can just ask the group chat. So most classes have it, especially at Rutgers where the classes are really big. Like my first 2 years, I would usually go to lecture halls, so they're like 200 to 300 students. Mhm.
So, were you ever the go-to guru in your group?
Oh yeah, sometimes I'm like, guys, you have to do homework.
And do you ever have to tell
And I
them,
would,
hey, do you ever have to tell them, hey, I'm not here to do all the work. I need you to
oh,
do a lot of this too. If we do a group
yeah,
project,
yeah, that's definitely a big thing to do, and especially in college. Like in high school, I would always be the one doing most of the group work, but in college, you have to make sure everyone's like carrying their own weight. So,
do you find people mostly do that?
oh yeah, definitely. I don't that like from my experience, people don't mess around as much. They really take in the business school, they take their education seriously and they want to work for it.
So, would you say that for the most part, people are cooperative? Look, let's work together. Let's see what you don't know. We'll help you make it
Oh,
through
yeah.
this class.
For the most part, yes, everyone really does want to help each other. I would think that everyone would be really competitive with each other and not want to help, but it was surprising to me that even if I just ask anyone, they're like, "Oh, I'm willing to help you. Like, what do you need help on this homework?" Like they're always ready to like help when they're needed.
Now, you found me through a mentoring program run by the business school.
Mhm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you learned about the program?
Mhm. So as a freshman and sophomore, it was really important for me to check my emails because so much was going on at Rutgers, I couldn't like keep up with it. But Team Up really like emailed every single, I would say every other day for like a month that this mentorship opportunity was like available at Rutgers Business School. And I always wanted to have a mentor and just ask the questions that I needed to ask for clarification. And so I signed up and everyone kind of knows about it because they everyone got the same email. And I think it was a pairing process, right? I if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was super great to know that, and they were very adamant about reaching out to the freshmen and the sophomores, and I don't know if they offer it to juniors. I'm not quite
Do do you find that your friends took advantage of it too?
sure. My mm, no, I don't think a lot of people actually took advantage of the opportunity because from the meetings that I went to, there weren't like a lot of people, even if like everyone got the email. I didn't. None of my friends really did the same thing.
It's run through a dean's office, right? I think that.
I'm pretty sure. I think.
Well, are you going to be involved in anything new this year, on or off campus? And are there concerns about COVID?
Oh, yes. I was actually planning this year to get involved in a club called Enactus, and it's a service-based club where they think of a lot of innovative ideas and marketing strategies to create sustainable things for the community and to just serve the community in general. But now that COVID is still around and that I can't go to campus, I don't know how the clubs are going to work anymore. They're probably all going to be remote because I know Rutgers is not open for anything. But yeah, that I was kind of concerned with that. Even with like my club too, I don't know how clubs are going to run for this semester because none of it can be in person, unfortunately.
Yeah, have you talked to the people in the clubs you were involved with as a leader about how you guys will get together, like using Zoom, using WebEx,
Yeah.
other tools?
Yeah, we were definitely looking into Zoom more to find like a free way to do it, but also WebEx, which is available. But currently we're using Google Meets, which is free and available for everybody.
And have did you come to college with a comfort level in technology like this?
Um, mm, Fairly, but in college is when I really dove into it and saw the need to adapt to this kind of environment.
Were you able to help each other this past semester using Google Meets,
Oh yeah.
using Zoom?
Definitely. We still have like although we can't be in front of each other, we still talk a lot, have the conversations that we usually would in person.
What have you liked the most about going to Rutgers so far, and what have you liked the least?
Hmm. The most I would say is seeing and meeting people, like new people every day and hearing like a new story. Like you would think it's like a huge campus and like you can't like find your way, but like you always see familiar faces and everybody's for the most part very welcoming and they just want to like know each other and share stories and Rutgers is really good in the way that they're really diverse. So you hear and understand like stories of people from all different backgrounds, whether they're from um, China and India or they're just like your neighbor that you grew up with your whole life. So it's really great. That's my favorite part, the diversity in the people. And my least favorite part would have to be the buses. Like those are definitely the worst thing because my freshman year I dormed, so I had to use the bus all the time. And my sophomore year I commuted and I was like, wow, I don't ever have to use the bus again because I would just like use my car and like drive and find like a parking spot or like a free place to park. And I was like, thank God I don't have to go in the buses where they're all crammed and everyone's like bumping into each other. And every time we hit like a bump, everyone falls over. So yeah, the buses are rough.
So you can park like near where you got have to go to class or where you have to go for an activity or to eat.
Yeah, like after six, I could park wherever, so I didn't have to take the bus.
What, by the way, that generations ago, that was one of my least favorite things.
Really, it's always been like that, I guess.
I had a car 3.5 of my 4 years in college. I didn't have one my first semester, and that was
Hmm.
when I lived the furthest from the main campus.
Oh,
And every other time I had a car, and I had to figure out when to use the car,
hmm.
when to ride the buses, and when to eat.
Oh yeah.
The food has gotten a lot better on campus since I've been there.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad the people who are in school or get the opportunity to eat better.
Oh yeah.
Your generation's a lot more nutrition conscious than mine
Oh yep.
was.
Hmm.
What do you think you'd like to do after you finish?
After I graduate, correct? Yeah. I would actually I've always had the ambition to work um in the beauty industry in New York, specifically L'Oreal or Lancome. I really into fashion and beauty and cosmetics, and I of course work in marketing and maybe even analytics because that is my second major. I want to work in corporations like that.
So, do you think you'd be, if you have the choice between, let's say, being like a general manager with people or being the math geek, which
Mm,
position do you think you'd take?
I would be the general manager. I love working with people and teamwork, so that would be my choice.
If you could talk to your younger self, who is a junior in high school, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to keep working hard. Um, I I remember like being discouraged in junior year of high school was the most stressful time. So I would tell her to keep working hard and that all the hard work will pay off. You'll go into a really great business school. You'll create a like a new life kind of in college because everything's new and so many opportunities are gonna be available to you once you reach college, but you just have to keep working hard and being consistent and determined, even if you're discouraged.
Carmela, thank you for spending this time with me today. And,
Thank
and,
you.
I, and I wish you only success.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you for having me.